Hitting go live now.
Go live now. La la la
Yes.
la la. La la la. Hi, Stuart.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
See, I would have said hi, Dr. Stuart, but I was like, I started saying it as the resonance of the tone came out. But you caught my meaning. Good job.
I
It's
did.
as if you can read my brain or something.
I'm not the dumbest captain out there.
No, I remember I got demoted at the end of last week. Just.
We got promoted last
Yeah.
5, I guess.
And then, like, last few seconds I got demoted again, so back to captain. Yes.
Oh, shit. I keep hitting the wrong button when I do that. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. Hi, everybody. How's it going? We're back for another top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Just because.
They're like not invigorating, but they're just fun to do, especially when they're kind of surprising.
This one will be very surprising because there's so many side characters.
Yes, and put the disclaimer out there about all of the other things we might do if this goes well.
Oh yeah, if this one goes really well, we might break this down per series, side characters per series. I don't think we're going to be able to get 10 side characters out of TOS. Yeah, there's like Lieutenant Kyle. There's Harry Mudd returns. Other than that, not so much. Well, but I mean, yeah, everything else, like DS9's full of them. So is TNG.
Voyager. I mean, they're yeah. I think they'll all be, even the movies. Obviously, the bar gets lower as you go down the train, obviously, but there's still definitely a possibility here with people. And
Rusty Knuckle Gut says Quark by a quarter mile. Well, Quark is main cast, so yes. He's not even a secondary character. He's main cast.
Okay,
you've already done secondary characters. These are side characters.
Yes, let me quantify. Main characters, obviously, the Kirk, Spock, McCoy, the bridge crew are always the main characters. Just that's the nature of it. So Harry can still be a main character, even though he's used less. They're mains. Yeah. Then you have like a Quark, Rom, and Nog would be secondaries, but specialist secondaries in that show. And then like maybe your main villain that comes in most of the season might be a secondary person, whatever. And then you got the side characters that are less used or one-offs that kind of whatever. And a big part of this one today is going to be we first reacted this shit. So when I say side character and you put that very vague idea, who comes to mind?
No, yeah, right the first one that popped into my mind, I was like, oh yes.
Yeah, which means if we go back and we do them properly, well then we'll like actually, and I'm sure through this conversation we'll have one say, oh, I forgot about him, forgot about her, forgot about they, and then it'll be a whole different list, abstractly. So this is kind of like a really like a first reaction, see where our head goes to straight away, because there's certainly a few in here that just like, obviously you can't not include them, and people might be like, but why? We're like, because for us it's important.
Jeffrey Taylor says Shran. Yeah, Shran is absolutely a side character. So yes.
Yeah, this side also.
Some people might disagree with some of these being sides or secondaries because a lot of them were popular enough that they kind of got more screen time.
They're recurring then. Because you could do recurring as well. I mean, there are clarifications. We're just meaning not main and not secondary. That one slight tick over. We're coming very general the first time. And Miles O'Brien would count as main, unless you say he's best in his TNG roles, which you could say that, but you'd have to ignore all of his not TNG roles.
Yeah, for TNG, I would consider him a side character, honestly.
Yeah, well, he is.
Yeah.
But then to judge him only by those moments is a bit of a...
Yeah.
You know, it'd be a weird metric because you can only be whatever by the rest of it.
Morn would absolutely be a side character, Joe. Yeah, you guys are getting the... Or John, sorry. You guys are getting the hang of it, so yeah.
Yeah, if they're only in one episode, you've got probably a safe bet they're a side character. And also, you might disagree slightly by some of these, and I'm absolutely fine with that. Like I said, first gut reaction, I suggest it, let's embrace it and go. So I'm going to start sharing.
Okay, start sharing. Who wants that first super chat strike? Please, by all means, fire away. There's the first one. Oh, there's BJ Turan right there. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, we'll address that in a minute, BJ. So thank you so much. But hit that like button, guys. It's the free way to help us out. Or you can super chat. We'd really appreciate it. We love to hear your thoughts and opinions on these kind of things when we do these lives. It really helps the discussion and makes for a fun time and a good community. So if you guys can, please do. Other than that, just sit back and relax. Hit that like button, as I said. Super chats. If you want to join the channel, please do. Make sure you're subscribed, obviously. And make sure you click that bell icon to all. That's really important. I know I say it all the time, but it's really important. A lot of people don't do it, but it is important. So if you can, please do. Also check out, like I said, that join button is a subscription service for the channel. Essentially, it's a good analytic for YouTube as well. So if you can help us out in that regard, please do. Or another monthly service or subscription type deal is Patreon/Trekyards. You can do that. You can also send us a PayPal if you want. If you send a PayPal to trekyards@hotmail.com, all the information for that is in the description of every video. Just let us know in the main chat that you've done that, and we will check your comment or question via the email from PayPal. And we do read all of those and all of the super chats on the air. So you can have us say whatever you want. You can have us say that we love, you can have Captain Foley say, "I love Detmer. She's awesome." Even though, you know, how I feel about her. So yeah. What else? Oh, the Teesprings and TeePublic store. Please just click those links. Check out some Trekyards merchandise. That's another great way to support the channel and help us out. Or just help yourself out by clicking the Eagle Moss affiliate link down below. Helps us out and it helps you out because if you use the discount code Trekyards10, you can save yourself some money off Eagle Moss ships. And I'm slowly getting my basement back in order and bringing stuff in or back in. And I just went through my whole Eagle Moss XL collection and stuff, and it's pretty impressive. So if you want to get anything like that, that's a good way to do so and support the channel as well. So yeah, and please tell all your friends that are Star Trek fans about Trekyards. Let's get those subscriber numbers up. We got Discovery, then Prodigy, then Picard, then Prodigy, then Strange New Worlds. So we got a lot of Star Trek on the horizon, and we're going to be here for all of it for you guys because we love this kind of stuff and we love you guys. So looking forward to hearing all your thoughts and your characters and what you think of our choices. And it should be a fun time. So if you can, please be vocal and super chat. Speaking of, we got the first super chat strike as I was asking for the first super chat strike. And that's from BJ Tehran with $2. In film, Saric is a strong secondary character. Yeah, I would say for the film, she's a secondary character for sure, yeah. But considering how often she shows up, she's almost like a side character. That would be a tough call, actually.
Sorry, I missed the name. I'm just going back to the live dashboard, which I hadn't done it up. Which was the character, sorry?
Saric.
Yeah, tricky. She's a secondary in one and a side in another.
Yeah.
And then a cameo in a third.
And then a converted character in another one, yeah.
And then yeah. But she's in this list because you could definitely one I would consider. But that's the thing with those sorts of formats, that changes so you know. Yeah. And
this is all the series we're doing today. It's just kind of like the ones that popped into our head. I got a few what are they called? Honorable mentions. So yeah, I thought I'd have a lot more. Like my list is super long on my phone, but I had to whittle it down and knock some things out. And yeah, my immediate thought when you said it is my number one. Just so you know.
Fantastic. And I think we might have to go back and do a top 10 one-off appearance, which again separates it down because that again just changes the criteria slightly.
Or even famous guest star or something.
Yeah,
as well.
That's good.
Maybe another good one.
Yeah, good. Because we do like our characters and we like our Trek.
Eugene throws in 1,500 rubles. So thank you so much, Eugene. Saval, Waxana, and Reg are amazing, but my best would be Andrew Robinson's Garrick. Amazing characters. Feels like the main cast, despite appearing in very small number of episodes. See, I didn't even consider Garrick for this list because he's more of a secondary character in my opinion. Sure, he starts off as a side character, but he very quickly, he he's around enough in the later seasons that I consider him one of the main cast. So that one doesn't work as a side character for me. Captain Chili Beana puts in $5.
Dang.
My name is Captain Stuart Foley, and my number one favorite side character is Keiko O'Brien. See what super chats can make you have a say? I mean,
Yeah.
Keiko O'Brien.
And your favorite recurring is, of course, Detmer. Lieutenant Detmer.
Yeah, she's my favorite side character for sure. Anyway, moving on.
So do you have an initial poll you want to throw out and get the audience, vibing in?
I wish there was more than 4 options that we could do on a poll, but not really. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Sorry.
Okay.
We can figure it out as we go. 49 people here, 34 likes, guys. Hit that like button. Let's get up to 50. I didn't give you a super chat I'm sorry, I didn't give you a like goal during my spiel earlier, but 50 is always a good one to start with. So hit that like button. Another 16, and we'll be there. So,
well, I guess start with my list this time because we had your list last time.
Yep, we got some super chats real quick. Mark Davies, 5 pounds. Brunt and Shran are up there for me. Honorable mention is a bit of a technicality with Tony Todd's older Jake in The Visitor.
That's interesting, yeah.
And Captain Chili Beana, member for 13 months at the rank of captain. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Sorry, Cap, I had to do it. No, that's fine. That's one of the fun things about super chats. You can literally have us say anything because we do read them all, and not every YouTuber reads every super chat. So we like to pride ourselves on that. So
it frustrates me. The bigger ones. It's just like, what is even the point?
There is no point. There is no point. Do you want to do honorable mentions first, then?
I don't have any, so I chose not doing it this time. Just because there'll be other lists, so I thought I'd save it.
Okay.
But you're welcome to mention some.
I have 3. I'll just throw them out real quick.
Okay.
Robin Luffler. She was a fantastic focus of an episode. She was also in another episode as in one of the engineering staff, and they really should have used her more. So, Robin Luffler. Moriarty, because I'm a Holmes fan. I thought Moriarty was great. The actor did a cool cameo not that long ago talking about joining the cast of Picard, coming back and getting some revenge on Picard, which would be kind of fun. So interesting enough and side enough for an honorable mention. And also Leah Brahms. I mean, we got 2 appearances by her. We also got the reference to Geordi being married to Alia in All Good Things. Hopefully it's the same Leah. We're not 100% sure, but kind of the beta canon and stuff clarifies that it is. So those are my 3 honorable mentions, and there we go.
All right, cool. The honorably mentioned.
Yes, kick it off with your number 10.
Okay, let's swap back into Premiere. Right, my number 10 is, I think they called him Dr. Rasmutin. That was his name. Professor. So this chap was instantly one I thought of as being has to be on the list because he's so memorable in the episode. It's such a good episode. Not that he puts the rest of the cast to shame, but he takes a spotlight as much as it has to be taken, makes it his own. Could have seen more of him. Plays both the full scientist role flawlessly and the kind of creepy guy flawlessly, and the dangerous what's he doing guy perfectly. And between scenes, just super memorable. And as a TNG one-off side character, he had so much character in his one appearance. A lot of these people don't. That they don't make they are side characters, but they just don't have a presence. He has such a presence and a lasting memory for me of you know exactly who he is. He's how he played him. So yeah, he just but it does help. He had over half an episode he's in. So a good 25 30 minutes of screen time is dedicated to his scene. So of course he has a lot of dialogue. Of course he but definitely he's right up there with the best of the side characters for impact for me.
We probably approach these lists differently because I wouldn't have even considered him because it's more of a one-off for me. But that's
still a side character.
The thing about him that's interesting is, yes, he's a fantastic actor, and I just want to hear his backstory. how he found the time traveler, killed him, whatever, stole his, and what happened to him after this when he got arrested and where he's at. I'm sure there's books and stuff that mention him, but yeah, definitely very, very cool. And one of the better episodes of TNG, honestly. It's a really fun episode, and he's really great in that role. But I always remember his Max Headroom. So
yeah, I never have. Yeah. That's not in my brain. He's just this guy and the guy from Eureka. Then later when he got more crotchety. But as I said, remember, this is a gut reaction list. Everything here is like who came to mind, and he was the guy that came to mind straight away.
Yeah. Mark Lawrence, $5. I've got to go with the gravelly yet smooth voice of Tony Todd as my favorite side character. That's Kern. 30-something man-child within 2 pounds. I would pick any of Jeffrey Combs' characters. There might be 1 or 2 on the list. Just saying. I don't know what Samuel's list is, but
that might be a top 10 Jeffrey Combs characters.
Yeah.
With his Lower Decks character, he's probably at 9 or 10.
Yeah. So yeah, my top 10 list here is all Jeffrey Combs. Different Wayuns. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh
God.
Sergeant
Top 10 Wayuns. Well, Wayun 6, Wayun 12, Wayun 44. God damn.
Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Number 10, Alexander Rozhenko. Number 1, Trekyards Community. Oh, Alexander.
Stu, would you back him up on that? Would you support our friend there and his choice?
No.
There you go.
Not at all. Captain Chili Bean puts in $25. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Boom.
I haven't been able to join live in a while and can't stay, but wanted to send you guys some love from Philly during the holidays. I'm still appreciating the pre-recorded and live content after the fact. So many thanks to you both. Live long and prosper. Well, thank you so much, Captain Chili Bean. We really appreciate it, and we love being here for you guys. So even if it's after the fact, the lives are still fun, I think.
Still a live show.
Yeah.
Cool. Your number 10.
My number 10 is Jet Reno. Because right now she's a side character, unfortunately. I know she makes more of an appearance apparently in this season of Discovery. However, I really like the comedian that plays her, and also her character, the snarky snide, good foil for Stamets, and definitely need more Jet Reno in Discovery Season 4. So we've kind of been promised that she's in it a lot more during the end of the season, and I'm looking forward to that. But as of right now, where is she? Like, she's taking a bubble bath and hanging out in her quarters a lot during seasons. And maybe she's on another ship. Maybe they're going to explain it that way. And that would be perfectly fine. Learning some new stuff or whatever. That'd be awesome. But yeah, Jet Reno, still a side character.
Very much
become a secondary at some point, hopefully.
And that you should a lot of screen time to get to secondary level, because like everyone's a side character in that show, objectively, with besides the top 4, really.
Yeah.
Like already, like Vance in season 3 became a recurring, like he became a secondary just from his few episodes, weirdly enough, and then Reese is still a side character in essence. So it's very strange.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Discovery, you got a medal. Good job, because you're not on my list. Although Vance might be, Vance would definitely be. See, now we should do a Discovery one, because Vance would be super high on that list.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. If this one's popular and people really like it, doing it by series would be awesome.
Then you have
just one-off appearances.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Because you have to
for
at that
like
point.
TOS and stuff. Yeah.
Well, especially if in TOS a lot of the time the one-offs were given a lot of the screen time, so therefore that's like, well, they do have enough time. Just it's only a one time. Okay, cool, Jet. Fair enough.
Cool, threw a curveball right away at you guys.
Yes. Cool. Does that mean you've watched? Right. You said you liked her as a comedian. Have you watched her specials since?
Yeah, I've seen some stand-up of hers. Yeah. She's basically the exact same person on stage as she is in the show. So
yeah, I saw a clip and it's like, oh, there's no acting involved at all.
No, there's no differentiation, so it's fine.
Which is why you hired her. I mean, you hired her to get her.
It's like what's his name? God damn it. Some actors.
It could be 4 billion people, Stuart. Well, actors. Okay, it could be.
I know.
500 million people.
Ryan Reynolds. Like Ryan Reynolds. You pay Ryan Reynolds to be Ryan Reynolds. Free Guy, Deadpool. There's the odd romantic comedy or not romantic comedy. There's the odd role where he kind of acts, but usually he's just Ryan Reynolds. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him in a Nine Underground, and he's much more serious in that. But yeah, certainly he's a type of man, and he just plays variations. Is he action? Is he romance? Is he subtle? Is he superhero? But yeah, certainly.
The snarkiness is always there.
Yeah, just depends if he's friendly snarky or annoying snarky or trying to kill you with guns with smiley face and bullets with smiley face on them. Okay, cool. I like it. All right. Well, my number 9 then is, I've already forgotten, which is fantastic, is Chang. Because he's only in one movie, which means one appearance and a video game. But
I was gonna say, and Klingon Academy. So.
But, and again, this is like gut reaction. He's such a good side one-off that makes such an impression for the much screen time he has that I'm just like, yep. I'm again pure gut reaction here. Just, he sells a performance of a character that I can't imagine they knew what they wanted from this character really going in, except more Shakespearean. But he delivers something so specific and unique and nuanced, and it's not a Klingon, but it is. It really is. But it's just not. It's like suddenly meeting a rich Klingon, that's the most expensive house, and like feeling that lineage that you've never experienced before, and having that on screen and just dripping attention, and you get some screen time, and you kind of wanted to know more, and it's kind of really kind of like, didn't they get more except the video game where his makeup is nowhere near as good, and his costume doesn't fit quite as well, etc., etc. But it's still good to see.
It's like an aristocratic Klingon, and that's really cool to see. Yeah, for sure.
But he just had so much depth in his short screen time, and so he gets mine one of the top side characters.
And he made an appearance on our top 10 villains or antagonists live as well. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't bring in anybody from the movies in my list. I don't think.
See, gonna be good.
It is gonna be good.
Why confuse each other? It's good.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, I don't know. I just didn't. Again, he seems like more of a villain, like a main villain in a film now, as opposed to a side character.
But he's still only a one-off in a spectrum of track.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think we approached our list totally differently because, I didn't do any one-offs.
Yeah. Like I said, these stuck to mind. Okay, your number 9.
My number 9 is Demar, who literally was a side character until like the last season, and he became pretty important. But
hardcore recurring by the end, yeah.
Yeah, always a little bit of a snarky ass, and always drunk, and the whole
second, the last bit of his when he became a politician. Anyway.
Yeah, the whole Canard thing was always funny, but I always loved his reactions to Goldicott, and as far as henchmen go. He's one of my favorites. Such a great actor as well. But yeah, he really shone through at the end of the last season, and it was a nice, from the staggered little appearance here and there to more of a secondary character than to more focused on. I think it was a great progression, and so yeah, that's why Demar is my number 9.
Yeah, and he's a tricky one because he did literally go through the spectrum until, he was literally leading a government, which we saw every episode. He got his entire side story with Kira, so he's obviously, developmental into a full side character, into a full recurring. But yeah, no, I agree. And he's one of the sort of characters where he underplays it, but there's a real gravitas, there's pain, there's stuff going in the inside that it's not coming through in his words, but it's being presented fully.
Feels like he's got personal and family problems because of how much he drinks.
Well, certainly in his last set of 15 appearances, he got quite a lot by the end. Then he's this whole complicated thing, and he gets a lot by the end. It's really quite amazing. I know they also, I watched some interview with him where they said they didn't know, like they knew I could do snark well, so they gave me those lines at the start, and they said they had a joke about, because he can do jokes as well, so they started giving him some jokey lines where he was a butt of jokes, which he liked, because it was different to the other lines he had. And they said, they think he said, then they wanted to punish me. And so everything they did to me was awful, and that was the other side of his character. So it was a real growth of like, you know, the snarky one-liner character that responds to Dulcicart, and then the comedy guy, and then the drunk that everything goes wrong to, and he's just a depressive and alcoholic.
He's the kickball.
Yes.
Kickball that everybody like kicking around.
So super interesting, evolution, and then one of those like from literally a one-off hired for the day to ran the whole government. Same with Saval and Enterprise. He was hired for the pilot, and then an iconic. Cool.
75 viewers here with 46 likes, guys. Come on, 4 more likes. Let's get to 50. Keep the super chats coming. Let us know your thoughts on these and your favorite side characters. Let us know.
Yes, absolutely. Cool. My number 8 then is Saric. Now, because you think of him in being in a lot, there's only like 2 TOS, 2.5 TNG, and 3 movies. And again, in the pantheon of Star Trek, he's barely in it. So he's definitely
a perfect side character in my definition. Yeah.
But he has, again, like the other two, he had such a personable impression impact vibe from relatively limited screen time to the point where they had him in the movies just to be in a couple of scenes. But he grounded it so much in this is fully canon, because we hired the guy who had 15 years ago and he looks the same and the exact same gravitas. No, really, really amazing. Just he was the perfect casting. He used it, and I would love to have seen more. Would love to have met him and got a sense of his real life persona, because you can't imagine he is Saric that, gravelly and discussy, but he just, it feels him. It's his face. It's the jawline. It's the ears. It's the eyebrows. He looks unhappy, but it's still in a smart way. But he can't have been that way, really. But he just looks so perfect for it.
And Mark Lawrence is right. He was even in the animated series. He was in the episode Yesteryear. He actually reprised that role. So yeah. No, perfect example of a side character. He was on my list. And for some reason, I think I forgot about him, because he should have been on my list.
There's too many.
He was on my phone list.
Yeah. Said. No, but he stands out so well. But he's in so few. But he's normally there as a highlight to a specific bit. So therefore, that's he's given the time. Although obviously we've just done his Saric TNG, and it's just sad. It would have been nice to get him in one strong episode, like as a strong hero again. But hey, he was real old in the universe.
Well, he's back in Discovery too.
That's all right. But also a side character in that as well. But yeah, there you go. Saric.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gets my number 8.
No, perfect. Yeah.
Or number...
Poster boy for a side character.
Yeah.
That's your 8. Yep. Yeah. All right. So, and it's a logical choice, by the way. Had to say it. Anyway, moving on to my number 8, and I've forgotten all these by now, so it's fine. My number 8 is Gowron. And yeah, Robert O'Reilly does such a great job with this role. And when you first meet him, you're like, okay, whatever, this guy's all right. It's interesting. But then for him to come back and become head of the Klingon Empire and then get killed by Worf, spoilers. It's such a cool arc for his character, to be thankful to the Federation and then put offish to the Federation, but still helping them because Picard. There's a lot of really cool stuff with him. Plus the eyes. Really love Gowron, and like I said, just the character and the actor himself. He always gets dressed up with J.G. Hertzler at conventions, and they do their Klingon rap and they do the stage stuff. He's just so into the character. He loves it, and he loves the fans as well. So all in all, just a good person as far as the actor goes, and just a fantastic character as far as Gowron goes. So very well written and very, lots of depth to him. So yeah.
No, for sure. And he's a guilty pleasure character in the sense of when TV shows at the time weren't doing long form continuity, the fact they're smart enough to bring him back for DS9 was because invent a new Chancellor sort of added so much more credence to the DS9 story. It made it more a ton more real, and obviously got way more time in. And just did a check. He got 4 in TNG and 8 in DS9. So he's a big old DS9, and in fact he's just in for sometimes just 2 scenes in an episode, because he adds that big overall continuity feel. And the fact that, like you said, he goes from a very thin, lean, quite piercing guy to this big, powerful figure. It's not the same character. I mean, it is, but it feels a very natural growth as the guy has been in power for 7 years. Well, I wouldn't call him corrupt by the end. I would just call him used to it, drunk with power, maybe more. I don't think he's actually corrupt because he got killed. Because he did. I mean, why did Worf kill him in the end? Because it wasn't. It was for dishonor. It wasn't because he was doing anything like.
You got me on the spot for that one because I don't necessarily remember. I think he was gonna start some shit.
Yeah.
And even though everything was settling down, or they needed the Klingons' help, and he refused to help them, I think, something like that.
But it wasn't because he was evil. It was because he made a choice that they didn't like, and he wouldn't back down, and so he challenged him in a Klingon way. Like, he was still...
Yes.
And he was just taken in by the... Because you kind of get the sense, even when the changelings are said to be in control of Cardassia, he goes and attacks. You can tell, based on how we've seen previously, he's not attacking Cardassia for personal glory. He's attacking for the changelings, and he stays because of the politics of it, because he knows of his place in the story.
Yeah, he was throwing away ships and lives to make Martok look bad, and basically, making the Klingons... It was dishonorable, what he was doing, so, yeah. Yeah. Well, Paul Thomas puts in 2 pounds and says, "Glory to you and your house." Never get sick of saying that, except for that one line.
Wise are words that never been spoken.
Area 51, $5. Would you agree that Gowron's ending was better and made more sense than Ducat's?
Yeah.
Wouldn't say it was better necessarily. It was definitely different.
Well, it's very different, yeah.
I don't know. I like both their characters and the way the arcs ended, honestly. One was more heroic, tragic, and the other was kind of like a fall from grace kind of thing. Not really, yeah.
I lose interest in Gul Dukat as soon as he goes Bajoran looking. And then as soon as he fire caves, he's like a little bitch. So I don't care.
Angel, whatever the fuck his name was. Yeah.
So his actually interesting arc is great. Even his insanity arc and impregnating Bajoran women, interesting. But as soon as he goes Bajoran looking, don't care. Like, not because he's Bajoran, it's just not interesting to me. It's a weird, like, let's just throw away everything, does one thing. Because he's now a messiah god, but it's like, no, I don't care. So Gowron at least stays Gowron until the very end. So that's why it's an instant. Yes, Gowron.
Oh, you said Ducat. I thought you meant Demar. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. When I read that super chat, I just substituted Demar because you're just talking about him. I thought both their story arcs were great. Ducat sucked. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry. No. My brain was just not braining at the time. Sorry, Area 51. Sorry, everyone not watching. I'm just stupid.
Yeah, Demar was great.
Absolutely.
Demar was great.
Yeah, it made a lot more sense and was way better. Yes. Moving on.
Stuart,
Matt Boardman.
No glory to you and your house at that point, I think.
I failed. Matt Boardman, $5. Worf killed Gowron because he was acting dishonorably, leading the Klingons into senseless battles so that he would look good politically. Yeah.
Yeah, he was always a real politician, which is why he had power for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. No. Nice.
That's my number 8. We're moving on to Samuel's number 7 now.
What did I say past me? I said... Gowron! Oh my god! Yeah!
Nice.
I surprised myself!
Close in the listings.
I thought I took him off the list. But I know oh, fantastic. There we go. Gowron, Stuart. Why? Because he's fantastic. And it's funny.
We just had a whole discussion on him.
Because I thought I didn't put him, so I had this whole long discussion with you. I didn't hold anything back. But I did have him on my list. Yeah, no. And having watched TNG, I appreciate him a lot more because he had such a longer arc. And Robert developed the character and had fun with him, and they worked with him, and yeah. And really, he should come back as another Klingon. I know he has on a couple, but to be in the makeup, to go another nuance, bring him back in Picard as Gowron's son. Well, old son now because he's a lot older, but get Gowron's uncle. Because a long time. He should definitely come back and play some more nuance because he's very, very good And it kind of, because he always had the vibe where he wears the makeup like a second skin. It's not makeup, it is his reality. I think he's even said that on interviews. As soon as he was in the Gowron makeup, he wasn't Robert O'Reilly anymore. I think actually he talked about that when he signed some prints for us once. Like, he was just like, no, once I'm there, I ask my excuse not to be myself. I just channel the not me of the situation.
And it's funny, the first time he was in TNG, he was a holodeck character in one of the Dixon Hill holodeck programs. He was one of the thugs with a gun that came in to threaten them. So it's always fun seeing that appearance after watching everything with him in it. It's like, oh my god. That's a top 10 live we should do, is the best reused actors in Trek, because they reuse their actors so many times for
Jeffrey
so many
Combs,
things, so.
Jeffrey Combs.
No, you can only pick him once.
JG, Robert.
SWTX Chaser, $10. This episode sponsored by Gowron's Real Estate. Bring glory to your house with our low prices.
At low prices. Look into my eyes. The prices. Fun.
All right. My number 7. Yeah, my number 7.
If you say Gowron as well, I'll be pissed.
I forget my list. My number 7 is Brunt. FCA.
Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah.
Hello, Jeffrey.
It was always fun seeing Brunt show up and hearing Brunt, FCA. And then, of course, he got fleshed out a little bit more and, actually worked with Quark, much to his chagrin. And he was a fun character. Mm-hmm. Anything Jeffrey Combs does is fantastic. And just, you say Brunt and people know who the hell you're talking about and they love it. So, love when he shuts down Quark's bar. And, there's so many great moments with him just being an asshole. So, yeah, Brunt.
Yeah, he was definitely on my, secondary shortlist. Because he's awesome. But I was trying to think, from when I'm thinking back, all his performances kind of blend together a bit. I can't, except you're right, though. The one where he appears and the one where he fights with Quark, those two are unique. But everything in the middle, he's just being Brunt. One long, I'm Brunt story. And I can't quite remember anything he did in the middle. So I know he's great, but I don't remember why, except the first two.
Yeah.
So that's just a reason why I didn't put him. But he and knowing that this guy plays Shran and Wei Yun and this guy, all three very different. They're not the same. He's not channeling the same sort of person. So, although I'm sure the teeth help a lot.
Yeah.
If they can't talk in the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Thomas, £2. Suggestion: top 10 holodeck stories, holodeck programs. Yeah, that'd be a great one.
I'm pretty sure that as a normal 10 originally, but that would have been 3 or so years ago. No, more than that. Top 10. I know he talked about it, because I know he did a massive list. I know it was on it, but maybe we didn't. Oh.
Doesn't ring a bell for me, so I think it's one that was suggested once or twice.
No, it's
not. List of things that. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, that's good. Write it down, Stuart.
So, yes.
Yeah, that could be one for soon, because that's a very, is it such a set list?
Yeah.
And yet also a quite distinct list. Nice. Nice. Yeah, right. Cool. So if you see that one come soon, Paul, that's for you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice.
All right, it's written down, so we'll do that at some point.
Fantastic.
All right, so, if Discovery keeps giving us nothing to talk about, then we'll have to do these lots. So
it was weird, wasn't it? It's there's stuff, but there really isn't. I don't know. It's weird. My number 6.
Yes, moving on to 6.
Okay. What did I say?
I don't know.
I'm giving it to Moriarty. And I was kind of saying, I didn't have him on your list, because this guy, 2 appearances, stand out in both. Both very different, yet both the same, as if he didn't move, as if he hadn't walked away for 5 years. Comes in, he's so eloquent. If you say Moriarty is a character, he's the one I think of, because he just harnesses something special in the role. And the fact that you then becomes Space Moriarty, where he's channeling the role and everything else. It's the cross genre things we like to look for. Space Sherlock Holmes. How would he deal with it? Well, he does, etc.
Yeah.
And they're both really good episodes in their own way. You know, they're both, and I second one more because it's more creative. But come on, he nails the character.
And a shout out to Lista Jericho for I've got it. Moriarty's real name is R.T. Morty. That's from The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Brother. That's a very deep cut. Good job, Lista Jericho. And yes, he does play the butler from The Nanny as well. A great actor. Like I said, the recent cameo he did where he's like, I'd like to come back on Picard. Me and him have some unfinished business. I thought that'd be awesome. And he's a character that can come back at any time. Like, let's be fair. And he could be dangerous at this point because he could be put into a synth body. He could be use a mobile emitter. There's a lot of things that could happen with him. So, yes.
Still sounds the same, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, fantastic choice. He was on my honorable mentions list, so because I'm a Sherlock Holmes fan, but I just didn't feel like, I don't know, these other ones kind of edged that out. So,
yeah, and for me, he's just so memorable, and he kicks ass so much in his limited screen time. Although Russ Knuckle says Moriarty's not a Star Trek character if you get technical, but he's a character that exists in Star Trek, so he is technically a Star Trek character in Star Trek because he's in Star Trek.
Yeah. He overcomes his fictional status when he comes out of the holodeck.
Yeah,
hence becoming a
Space
character.
Moriarty in the second one, yeah.
Yes.
No, it's just such a legendary side. Should have been. I mean, should have. The fact it wasn't in DS9. Oh. Yeah. I mean, that's for a lot of people, but was rampant for a story. Just
he come back in Lower Decks. To be fair.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the obvious one, but it's just not quite satisfying. It's great, but 22 minutes and they only have him as a sort of a cameo.
Could turn up in Discovery Season 4. He could, absolutely, indeed.
I've lived a whole life, Michael Burnham, and I have found that the best thing is family. It's like,
And Devo 77X, yes. Sigerson Holmes was the name. Dermentia, $5. He's a super intelligent AI who actually acts like a super intelligent AI.
Yeah, he can be real dangerous. Although also gives you the idea of, well, can you program even program an AI that can beat Data? If it's that easy, why can't you say computer create an artificial intelligence that can think about the situation? It was that easy, quote unquote. So it's a weird one.
And Rusty Knuckle, yes, he was an Arthur Conan Doyle character transplanted into Star Trek. However, he became his own character in Star Trek. So.
And obviously, we're talking about this version of the character in Star Trek, not the Doyle version, but this character.
Yes.
Even in the first episode, he goes off his script within the first 20 minutes. A heretic? What is an enterprise? It's art. It appears from nowhere, Miss Prostitute, who was a prostitute, I think. What was it? I don't remember. Hello. Oh, my God. He said, art. And I can see it, even though I shouldn't be able to see it.
And, yeah, I mean, pointing out that it's an Arthur Conan Doyle character on this live stream, Rusty Knuckles, kind of silly.
I mean, you didn't know that, did you, Stuart?
No, I've never even heard of Sherlock Holmes. It's not like I'm one of the biggest Sherlock Holmes fans
Holmes. They pronounce him Holmes. Sherlock Holmes.
Holmes.
The O is a very hard O.
Anyway.
Your number 6.
My number 6 is Wei Yun. Yet another appearance by Jeffrey Combs. Wei Yun, he'd make more of a secondary character, I guess, at some point.
But same with Demar, they kind of evolve into.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, and there's different versions of him, obviously. Even one that kind of was being hunted by the Dominion, which you got to see a lot of different aspects of the character. And just Jeffrey Combs is fantastic. He plays such a... I don't know how to describe Wei Yun, man. It's like...
Ass kisser.
So calm, cool, and collected all the time. Kisser. Even drinks poison. And Ducat's like, are you insane? And it's like, well, having a resistance to poison is important in my line of work. Because he just downs the Kanara that's poisoned. Funny little moments like that. It's such a fun character. Yeah.
Area 51, very good in British accent, Samuel. Thanks. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where we get to tricky because he's all the above.
He's a recurring character for sure. Yes.
He was a side. He was recurring. He was even a regular in like a season in some small way because But no, yeah, for sure. And he's, I mean, also on my short list, in concept, he might even be on the main list. No, it does help though that he literally had so much screen time, and normally he was important in those stories. Yes, though obviously his middle batch, he was the butt of the joke sort of character. He was the henchman character, but then he always tended to rebound into a bigger story that he'd been playing into, because you couldn't have the founder lady in most stories up to a certain point. You couldn't have a good Ducat, so he was a good perspective character when you had to kind of, a lower fiddle villain. But I just haven't watched his very first one again because that has the Iconian stuff in it. It has Defiant sets. You get to see the entire sets. We did that for the Trek Shorts recreation. To see his first time, he stands out so strong compared to the Vorta, who are normally good, but he has such a slickness, such as you can see why they brought him back, and they killed him. Literally, he was dead. That was the whole punch on the end. They killed him. It was that graphic. And so to say we're going to bring back a character that we literally killed, yeah, it's very win.
Got a creepy coolness about him that I really like. So
yeah.
Dementia, $5. Imagine the Dominion, but it's exclusively Wayun clones.
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of the other Vorta really were awesome. I can't remember the guy's name, but there's that one really creepy one, and then there's Iggy Pop playing one. He was such a cool Vorta as well.
Maybe we'll do top 10 Vorta.
I don't know if there are 10.
There are 10. Yeah.
Okay. That lady, the lady Vorta, we needed more of her.
I mean, they're all one-offs except him, but there was like 4 women, the rest of men. Yeah, I mean they're mostly one-offs, but yeah, you could definitely do 10, or 8 and 2 ways. I mean,
yeah, you could pick your favorite Wayun because like there was one that was very different as well. Yeah.
You'd have to rewatch the episodes though to see the nuance, because he is just Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah,
I feel like we need a poll though. Actually, I'm gonna do favorite Jeffrey Combs character out of 4. I think that's a good.
Okay. Good job, guys. Hit that like button. We have 87 people here, 61 likes. Let's get up to 75. I'm sure that's very doable. If you have not hit like yet, please hit that like button. Keep the super chats coming. It's been a great conversation. You guys are participating, and it's really been fun. Want to hear your thoughts on all this kind of stuff. Yes, I know some of these are questionable as being recurring, secondary, tertiary characters, but they kind of started out life as side characters, so that's why they're on the list. The list is subjective, and I probably missed some that should be on my list, but just didn't think of them or whatever.
Well, that's why we said
episode,
this is our gut reaction episode.
But watching an episode, I'd be like, "Oh my god, he should have been on my list," or something. So, yeah. Okay. You don't have to agree with us, but you do have to,
sit here and watch.
Or I was going to say that initially when I started going into that, and I thought, no, they could just click off and leave. But they love us.
Yes. I want to make sure I spell these right, so I'm gonna be a second. You keep talking to the chat on.
Okay. Kevin. Yeah, Kevin was in more than one. Yep, Kevin was creepy. He was the Kevin. Yeah, and Yulgren was Iggy Pop. Yeah, Iggy Pop was awesome in this as a Vorta. But yeah, thank you for reminding me of the names. That's why you guys are awesome as our community, because shit that we forget, you like answer it right away, so we appreciate that. Oh, Sergeant Montgomery just clicked. He clicked off. Oh man. O'Brien got a promotion to full character. So yeah, but the thing is, if we do a TNG side characters, he's totally a side character in TNG. They did fill him in a little bit in TNG, but he would still be considered a side character. Once DS9 hits, then yes, of course, he's one of the main cast. So it's hard to separate yourself from what you knew of him in TNG to the full character that we get in DS9 and kind of separate them. But yeah, we would have to make those caveats when we do this specific series side characters lists. So
okay, so read out the poll when you see it.
I will. Oh my goodness, I'm waiting to see it. There it is. Favorite Jeffrey Combs character: Brunt, Ferengi, Wayun, Vorta, Shran, Andorian, and where is it? Agamus, Agamus, yeah, lower decks computer.
Because I looked at his other performances, and they're actually less screen time than Agamus got. So it's like, well, because he was because he was Wayun like 9 times. That's why you think of him so much.
He was the fight promoter in Voyager when when Seven fought the Rock.
He was another Ferengi once.
He was a shapeshifter, I believe.
No Quantum Memory Alpha. He was Trion.
Okay. That was J.G. Hertzler. That was a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he was the guy from Far Beyond the Stars. He's actually got less roles than you think. And that's fine. Just those are his main ones. Vote now. Vote now. Yeah. Sweet. Double combs, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. My number 5. We are now halfway. What did I put? Let's find out. My number 5 is Degra from Enterprise.
Ooh, that's great. That's a great one. Damn, why didn't I put that on my list?
Thank you for that reaction. Excellent. So
yeah.
So I was trying to go through every series and kind of think, and as soon as you think Degra, his arc was fantastic. So he's the starts out as the main antagonist in season 3 of Enterprise. He's a prospective villain character. He believes in destroying Earth. He believes in killing all humans because he believes in his planet. He's doing it for his family. Really personal. And then by the end of it, he's Earth's biggest supporter. Takes Archer, risks everything, his entire society, to take Archer to the Xindi Council, and gets literally backstabbed in the process. He martyrs.
Forward stab.
Forward, okay. Oh, it gets really gruesome.
I was just gonna say that scene really is impactful for me, and I hate that death scene because as he's dying, the guy says, "I'm gonna kill your wife and your kid." Mm-hmm. That's the last thing he hears as he passes from life to death. Like your sheer terror for your family, no easing into death. Like that was awful. I absolutely hate that scene for that reason, but it's so well done.
Yeah, and arguably he's recurring in that season, and he arguably is, but he's also still a side character in how much screen time he has, because when he appears, it's normally for a scene of exposition or part of the council until he gets the big episodes. And the one he's, fake future him, he's phenomenal in. I mean, he's really just good in all of his scenes, pretty much. But the fact he goes on this big journey, and he stands out so much, because you have to, because I know you came out to it later, but I've been watching it live with no expectation and learning to really feel against this guy and then really for him and then be confused by him. And then, like I said, his death scene is so impactful. It's so random. It's so out of nowhere. And yet you understand it. It's very creatively vibrant, but it's horrifying, and it's one of the few character deaths. Like Gao, I'm like, okay, he died.
Mm-hmm.
Most
people, it's like, okay, they died.
Yeah, this guy's like, fuck. What does it for the end? Because he definitely deserved to be in it more. So that is a rare reaction with these sorts of characters. He absolutely had a great start and a great death and a great in between. So, I just think he stands out especially.
No, that's a fantastic choice. And thank you for having him on the list, because that's one of those scenes, and that's one of the scenes in Star Trek that disturbs me quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to it's hard to either have a disturbing vibe for me from a show or an emotional one. Like Ghostbusters Afterlife made me cry. That never happens. So I mean, it's really, I hate seeing that scene, but at the same time, it's so well done and so on point for the character that kills him. I forget his name, but it's just, I couldn't imagine dying that way. Like, you really feel for the guy. So
yeah, Mark says he had great chemistry with Bachelor as well. He really did. He really did.
Yeah.
And the fact that he could play from villain to antagonist, and once you understood it was for his family, it was so personal. He was a scientist for peace, and he became a scientist for war. But he believed Nick, so he was saving his family, but then he didn't believe it, and then it's just really, really interesting. And I mean, one of my favourite episodes of Enterprise is the one where he's literally just him and Archer in a shuttle pod together. I think he's just such a good. And yeah, Dave, not all about violence. Yeah, he's just very, very good. Dolum, yes, evil Dolum. I'm still annoyed he got killed. He should have been the rest of the season. I'm still annoyed by that. Over 10 years later, I'm still annoyed by it. Which is good. What a character. So yeah, that's my number 5.
Yes. All right. Well, we're on to my number 5 now.
And it can go anywhere unless it's another Jeffrey Combs character.
Yeah. It's not a Jeffrey Combs character.
Okay.
My number 5 is Lita.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Note multiple angles here.
I was looking for the perfect shot, so this was the best one I found. Hold on a second.
Okay. Yeah, Paul, absolutely.
Yes, anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Okay.
I mean, started off kind of, as a very minor character, just a Dabo girl. Thought she'd be in it for 2 or 3 episodes, and then became such a big, was a big part of Bashir's life, and then married Rom. Like, it was great character, a fantastic person as well. In person, like Chase Masterson's awesome. So, and multiple different reasons why she's on my list. So
two big ones, especially.
That would be fair to say. Yes. So.
And then you have one big reason why you like her back. But
Yes.
Now, but again, this character became a recurring character by the end easily. The amount of appearances she got, so it's kind of a tricky one, because it just became, late in DS9, it just became a case of, and cut to what are these characters doing, cut to these characters, cut to these characters, so it's just, but yeah, they couldn't have imagined an arc for her going in. And luckily she's a good enough actress to completely sell what she was given, the naivety and then the strength and then all sorts, really, one of those happy accidents of good casting with, well, let's utilize what we have here to try and develop, and then it has its own life. And unlike other shows where it's like that doesn't feel organic, this is literally an organic character development as they liked what they were doing with the character. So it evolved with the story, and it just felt real because it was real. And that's rare.
Yeah, I think it was one. Yeah, she was only supposed to be like a small part, and then they just liked her and worked it in, and it was great. But she started off just so like absent, just at the beginning of an episode, and then mentioned like 2 or 3 episodes later, and eventually, yes. So I find a lot of my characters actually that I've picked kind of turned into regulars or recurrings. So but definitely a fan of Chase Masterson.
Yeah, no, and that's the whole point of the Dabo Girl, isn't it? It's not a. It's seen, not heard. Well, heard apart from yelling. It's meant to be what it is. And yet, only 17 appearances in 176 episodes. She's only in 10% of the season of the series.
Wow.
Has an impression though. Leaves an impression. So.
Yeah. And
of course, was in Of Gods and Men and Orion, and did a good job.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, I'm surprised so high, but sure, yeah.
Well, you know me. She's one of my favorite characters. She's a real bright spot in DS9 for me. For 2 really big reasons, as you said. So.
Being the earring and the nose, because you just want to stroke the nose, don't you? You just want to.
Well, I'm not a fan of the Bajoran nose wrinkle.
I know, I'm playing. Obviously.
Hers are very subtle. They're not like really angled like Kira's. I don't know. Moving on.
Guys, and we're at 75 likes, 78 likes, 75 viewers. We want to hit 100 likes. We're at least on the $50. So if we can throw a couple of 5s in and see what you guys think, that'd be great. And vote in the poll as well. We're definitely going to do what do we think our best, or number 1 is when we get there. But currently, Shran is winning quite successfully. I appreciate Agamus got at least 10 people, or 1 person, whatever the math is, on 50.
I don't know. I
guess. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Sweet.
Anyway, hit that like button, guys. Let's get to 100.
My number 4 then. Let's see what the hell I picked.
Your nose.
Q.
See,
I'm learning as I do it.
See, I was gonna make this list the top 10 side characters that are not Q, because I didn't want to pick Q because he's kind of become just like more than just a side character, and he's just, I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, he's not a main character. And
I know.
he's only in 13 appearances in all of Star Trek. So he's in 5 less than Lita. So he's definitely not recurring. So at that point, he's aside. You know? He was once per season in TNG.
I agree with you. It's such a cheap addition to the list. That's why he's not on my list, because I'd rather see a more interesting choice from you than him, because he's on everybody's list. And it's like,
but there's a reason for that, because he is such an iconic side character. He stands out above the bunch, and I wanted to put personal favourites, is why I put the guy at number 10, but he is obviously one of the top side characters, because he, as with most of mine, he stands out in his performance as being truly unique, and you get it straight away. And being, he's always the focus of the episode, give or take, but he just, he brings an extra dimension that a lot of actors wouldn't, and we saw the cues. Yeah.
Brings all the dimensions.
He does. 5th, 6th, and 7th. And we saw the cues, so we saw what other characters, they're not trying to emulate him, but they have a template. And they were never able to recreate even half of what Delancey did or was. Obviously, if you're depressed as the character, you can't. If you're a lady, you can't, exactly, because it does not have the nuances of the whatever works. He is unique for a reason, but he's left such an impression, obviously, and some of his episodes aren't the best, but memorable, obviously, and hopefully they don't ruin him in Picard, because they might.
They might.
He might be low on this list after Picard, because they might. I think he's in six of the 20, so he's in enough.
Isn't there 20 episodes?
Well, there's 2 seasons. He's in both.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
Math.
Gotcha.
I think he's in 5 or 6. He's in no less than 5. I think it's 5 or 6. But I just had to. He's just such such a memorable performance.
Yeah. Well, good choice. But yeah, I saw the comments on Facebook when I posted this, and Q came up so many times, and I'm like, I should have changed it to the top 10 side characters who aren't Q. Because I knew that.
Or Jeffrey Combs. That's also unfair in a sense. Although we just worked out hasn't got me, if you have to break it down. Dave L. Gosh, he's more important than some of the main characters in TNG. Well, importance relative. He's a god, so of course he is. Yeah. But, screen time and lines and episodes, I mean... he's not recurring by any means. He's a guest star that came in once a season. That's absolutely, whichever.
And Matt Boardman says, I think it's safe to say, is going to be great in Picard.
I don't think that's safe to say. I do not think that's safe to say.
Matt might know.
Well, we all thought the show would be better from the first 2 of Picard, and then it wasn't. So let's not say, because we do not know. And he might just be a mockery.
They have to prove themselves to us. Put it that way. They're not getting the going in with goodwill at this point. They need to prove themselves. Sorry.
And okay, it was 6 episodes. Yeah, great. I was right. But but also that means we've said it'll probably be the biggest quality jump in one season to another. If it's because it was just bad. If it goes to being even good, the single biggest jump in Trek season quality. Well, Matt, you say that, but you haven't seen it all or read all the stories. You're still gonna judge it by season 1. Did you see what they did to 7-9 and Icheb? Yes. So and and Raffi. That's Q and. Oh no, 30 something. Well, it's not a second chance. It's a fresh chance for second season. We've given season 1 second and third chances. It's still as bad as it was, but every season's a fresh start.
And honestly, Picard had a lot of goodwill going into it. We had a great character in Picard. They can't mess this up.
Borg. There's sort of 9. Yeah, I mean that trailer. There's Brent. So I said to you, every episode we're gonna have a Brent flashback in his mind. It'll be a throughout the season. It'll be really cool. And yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I had to, Stuart. I'm sorry, I had to.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I think Q and the Great Koala are both up there above the clouds. They're both looking at me, and I can't disappoint both of them. You know.
Okay, well, I'm just disappointed in you, but that's okay. You got to take care of the people that you know.
The Great Koala and the Q.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. Moving on. Going to my number 4 now, and again, I don't remember. My number 4 is Barkley. Now, this one is questionable because he does become a very recurring character, and in Voyager and stuff as well, and quite important in a lot of aspects, even as it was in First Contact. But as far as side characters go, like I said, a lot of mine turn out to be more recurring characters. They were so good that they kept bringing them back.
Well, that's why they're so good.
Right. That's why they're on my list.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Barkley had to be on the list. He's a great character. Dwight Schultz is an amazing actor. I remember watching him back in the day in A-Team as Murdoch, Mad Murdoch, and I really wanted to see him come back. Even in Picard would be awesome. He could come back on Lower Decks, although I find the Lower Decks bringing people back is like not as impactful because it's just like just their voice. But yeah, he could come back in Picard and would be awesome. So please bring back Barkley. Make him a hologram. Make it that'd be an irony, wouldn't it? He has a hologram addiction, holodeck addiction, and bring him back as a hologram of some sort. That'd be kind of cool. So, don't know what else to say. Just a fantastic character and very, kind of all over the place as far as character quirks go. He's got the OCD. He's got the what do you have past Starfleet Academy? What do you have got on the Enterprise? To being more calm for a while and then kind of falling back into the needing Counselor Troy to help him. Like, I loved it because the therapy worked, and then he kind of did a little bit of a regression and stuff. So very realistic and awesome. There you go.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's another great journey character. Although, I haven't seen him in that many things, Dwight. He does play... I've seen him in some A-Team, not a lot, but once you see one episode of A-Team, you've seen them all in terms of his character, let's be honest. And that's fine. And then I see him in Babylon 5, which is quite different, he's still crazy, just a different sort of crazy. I think he's actually quite different in TNG compared to other characters he plays. He's obviously a bit quirky, but it's a very different quirky. I haven't seen him, is he how similar is he to these characters in other things you've seen him in?
I'm just trying to think of all the things I've seen him in, which aren't a lot.
He certainly doesn't act as much nowadays as he did when you were around, so...
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that makes him a good actor, though, is the fact that his Murdoch character is different than his Barkley character. It's not the Ryan Reynolds effect where he's just Ryan Reynolds and everything. He's actually an actor, and he's a classically trained actor as well. We do see him do some Cyrano de Bergerac in The Nth Degree and stuff like that. He's a stage actor, and I think that shines through with his performance. He can pretty much be anything he needs to be. I'm just going to look up what he's been in, actually.
Well, I just don't know if his range goes beyond the quirky, unable to deal with people characters, because that's 3 out of 3 is that sort of role. Again, you hire them for their strengths, but...
And honestly, when he was the more confident Barkley in The Nth Degree, it was great to see that. Striding in, delivering the lines, making Crusher cry because it was so well done. Would have liked to see more of that Barkley, honestly, but let's see here.
But yeah, that certainly showed range because he was just given everything except his Barkley character. How to then play confidence through a Barkley lens. At that point, it's obviously the writers that are really doing that justice because they're speaking they're giving life to the difference between him and a random person, and then he gives the nuance to that within that.
He does a ton of voice acting. A ton of voice acting.
I can't think of anything his voice has been in.
Oh my god, there's so many video games that you would know, like Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Iron Man VR.
Well, that's just because
Fallout 76, Spider-Man, Wolfenstein 2.
Although being in Fallout 76 as voice,
I know
isn't a real role at that point.
Fallout 4.
Yeah, Vulture's a pretty good one for Spider-Man. Middle Earth, Nemesis Orcs. That's just voice. That's not a real character.
Skyrim.
World of Warcraft. So so basically, he's been brought in by studios that like him, and he's done.
It's kind of like the Frank Welker. He probably does a lot of different voices and sound effects.
Well, I've heard often a case where they're just in a booth and someone says, "Hey, can you just film something for this other game quickly?" What do you mean say? These 6 lines and some grunts. It's like, okay, and that's another $500. Thank you. I'll see you guys later. So it is a lot of like not real characters in the sense of like definite, but it's just a character voice, which is all good, all good. But I don't see much of him being a primary character.
Holy shit. He was in Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within as a scan technician. What the fuck? I love that movie. Anyway.
To additional voices. So he's definitely just a guy that does random things, but nothing really not much as a real hero, which is fine. Just we have to see him and does more things.
He was in SG-1.
Yes, he was great. Caretaker, I think he was. Fantastic.
Keeper,
yeah, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, he used to act a lot more in the 90s and 80s. Now he's more voice actor, so.
Yeah. I mean, pretty, big resume, but random stuff. But he's got a good vocal range, feels like. But also might not be able to necessarily pick him out from other things. You just know he's nuanced.
Yeah, I just really like him. So seems like a nice guy, and character's great. So,
but I'll end the poll though with 72 votes. Favorite Jeffrey Combs character: 8% Brunt, 33% Wiyun, 54% Shran, and 4% Agamus. There we go. Well done, Shran. Yes, they ruined his garden. Real sad. Nice.
That's our number 4. So we've done our number 4s. Now we're now going into our top 3, guys. So this is a time to bolster those likes. Let's get 15 more likes up to 100. Keep the super chats coming. I would love to get another 70, honestly. So a couple 10s, a couple 5s would be great if you can. What do you think our number 1 is going to be? It's going to be hard with all the side characters and our definition of side characters. So I want to get your thoughts. But yeah, we're going into our top 3 now. Gold, silver, and bronze.
Yes. I'm going to quickly Google something.
Ooh, that sounds dirty. You shouldn't do that when during a live, man. I do all my Googling privately.
I spelled it wrong, which doesn't help. It's like, why is that character coming up? Lies. Okay, he is in... Huh.
I felt sorry for him in Stargate. They ruined his garden. Yes, they did.
Huh. That's interesting. Yes, my number 3, Stuart, my bronze. Let's see what I said. The survey says... See, I had Garrick as number 3.
See, I kind of argued with you a little bit earlier about Garrick. So I didn't even put him on my list. Garrick's a fantastic character, so.
I thought he was going to be your number 1. Because Garrick is always one of your number 1s, like, in that top tier.
I'll have to wait and see what my number 1 is.
My logic was, he's in 37 episodes of 176.
Yeah.
And I'm searching, he's in 1 episode of season 1, so he's not even in season 1. He's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's in 6 episodes as either an illusion or mirror Garrick. So that's as 8 out of his 37. He's not even playing classic Garrick. So he's only in 29 as classic Garrick. 29 of 176. That is not a recurring character. A recurring character should be in more than that. And he's not main cast. So that was my definition, because I know he's in more. You think of him more than he is, but he's actually just like he's a guest star, yes. But I call him a side because he's only in so many. Obviously, yes, at a certain point he's in quite a few. But that's because it gets at a certain point. And he kind of batches as well. His story kind of whatever's. But I'm still going to consider him that because he's just 1 tier down. That said, though, this is a character I just googled. I would consider Rom a secondary because he's in so many. But he's only in 33. Who's actually in 5 less than Garrick. But as I said, 8 aren't playing original Garrick, which is confusing then but he feels like he's in it all the time. I think though at a certain point, I think it's a swap though. Later seasons he's in less because they're not going to the station as much. I think he's in more early and then it kind of swaps. So that's interesting that I would consider one to be a secondary, and one to be not. But anyway, so yeah, side character. Yeah, I mean he's very very good, and feels like again like Q too easy an answer because obviously he's everyone's top lists, but for a reason because again like with all these other people on my list, he presents more than they wrote. He's a super nuanced Cardassian, arguably a poster child for what a sneaky Cardassian is, and Gul Dukat is a poster child for a military Cardassian. Just they're sort of the default, but they reflect exactly their cultural background in that mindset, and so you get a really good mirror to what the culture is. But he's nuanced. He acts again with makeup as if it's not even there. He brings extra depth, but there's also the writing. I don't know if he could just say Garrick stuff without the very good writing. It's both in unison. It's good writing being elevated by an actor who can have a good choice in it. Although I did, some episodes I don't like him in because I think they didn't ruin it, but they certainly went a weird direction. But you can't have a Mystique character who's literally runs on, is he a spy? And it's like, well, of course he is.
But is he?
But are you a spy? Am I a spy, Doctor? I'm just a tailor. No, you're a spy. It's obvious. What do you mean? I knew that from the first time I saw DS9. So no, you're a spy. Bye, spy. Like, it's not really a mystery. It's just amazing that he does tailor clothes so well. It's a great cover. But it's not a cover. It's just he's banished. And then his stuff with his dad is great. Although I do wish they'd said it was his dad earlier in the story. Would have been great to know if they actually knew he was his dad from the start. Or that was a retcon. It kind of feels like a retcon. To me anyway. But yeah. I just think he easily deserves my bronze. But he's right there. If he'd been in a few more, he'd been a recurring. But yeah, for me, he's a.
I argued that he was recurring. Just so you guys know, that's why he's not on my list. But I really love Garrick as well, and Andrew Robinson's great. I love what he brings to that character. So,
like I said, 37 of 138. So pretty mathematical answer. But yeah.
Well, I don't know if my number 3 will be able to compete with that because I think I know what it is.
Okay, the person that won out, I guess your 4th, but didn't quite win your silver is.
My number 3 is Guinan. I really love the character of Ganyu. When she shows up, she's got the best advice. I love the way she looks at the world and everything around. And Whoopi Goldberg does a fantastic job. And the fact that she just wanted to be in Star Trek so badly that she just forgo a paycheck, I guess, or two, to just be on the show is fantastic. So, but yeah, Guinan's character is awesome. Unfortunately, she did steal a lot of lines and stuff from Troy, which should have been Troy's job as a counselor. However, it's cool seeing her in a few episodes, and honestly, I don't know how many episodes she's been in, but she's
in 29 of TNG.
Yeah, that's a lot actually.
Well, one's to 28. Although we did see a couple which was just like one scene and doesn't impact the story at all. So, yeah.
No, it was fun having her on board, and just every time you saw her with her outfit choice was always interesting. So, just a fun character, and definitely one of the best side characters. And yes, she is a side character, even though she's in a lot of cast photos. That's just because she's a big name, and yeah, so not really a member of the crew, but kind of. And where was she in a few episodes where it would have been helpful to have her? Who knows? She's like Jet Reno. She's having a bubble bath somewhere on the ship. So, but yeah, Whoopi Goldberg, kind of. Yeah.
Makes sense. She's definitely, I mean, the fact they built 10 Forward literally for her, and it's one of their nicest sort of sets, and just overall feel, and spend so much time there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And 2 movies as well. She was in Generations and was she in another one? Yes.
At the wedding.
Yeah.
I mean, she cameoed in one and was in the other. Although I just don't like Generations very much, so just like, she's confusing. Yeah. I mean, Guinan she's like Garrick. If Garrick only had season 1 and 2, where you're like, well, was he a spy? I guess not. Like, it's not satisfying. So her past isn't satisfying to me really at all. So just a kind of blur of, I mean, you think she's interesting. She's just an old lady that's lived a long time. Like, there's nothing innately interesting about her character except she's a good counselor, and there's probably something else there, but they've never gone into it. So it's like the promise of something without really paying anything off. Where's her payoff with Q? Where's her payoff with Tasha?
We know that she's coming back with Picard at some point, so I mean that'll be interesting to see how that plays out as well. So we might learn more about her. But...
Oh yeah. Although I think she said in interview recently, it's really short. Like, it's just hello, I'm here, goodbye, which is So I think it'll just be to get press, honestly, and because Patrick wants her in it, I'm sure. Which is fine. It's all good. Just don't expect I think anything really meaningful. But yeah, you're right. If she'd been in the scenes that obviously felt like she should have been in, that would have been better. But they didn't have any sort of plan with the character. There was no journey. There was no ever plan. It was just, can we get Whoopi this week? No. Okay. We can get her in this week. Let's have some lines for her. Great. And she'll just do them well. So she's not a very satisfying character for me.
I disagree. I really enjoy the scenes with her. Just the way she approaches people and talks to people.
Sure.
I wish I had somebody in my ear like that, because that would really help me with a lot of decisions. So.
But then it would have been better if she didn't have all the Elorian stuff. If she was just a really freaking good bartender, that would have been better. Just a classic, a simple, plain and simple bartender. And then you could appreciate just the wise words of like
a plain and simple tailor.
Exactly, thank you. But rather than all this other stuff that doesn't mean anything, But yeah. So yeah, not in my top 3, but I do appreciate it. I think she's overhyped personally, but hey, Picard, another chance, and definitely a Lower Decks character. Like perfect character to come in and
a special guest bartender. That'd be a thing they would do in Lower Decks.
Yeah, she just talks. Yeah, maybe last season we had the Helms Tom Paris do the tour, and then we have Guinan go on every bar in the Federation just doing a tour, and she gets to talk to Seamus, the bartender, and he's like, "Did you hear about Mariner?" She's like, "Ooh," and then have his talk, and it's like, "Yes, I'm lying." Yeah, that'd be fun. Seamus versus Guinan, who can make the better sunflower rise sundae. Bullshit. Yes.
Cardassian sunrise.
Boom. Cool. And guys, yes. Go on, $30 more. Come on, you can do it. Just say.
$5. Just say something. Yes. Couple fives. And last super chat slot's always available.
Because we're down to our silver and gold. So let's ask the audience then.
Silver and gold. We're starting with the Christmas music here on Trekyards, everybody.
Goodness. Put in the chat right now. Vote and put in the little put Stuart Dash and then Samuel Dash. Who do you think our number 1 or number 2 is? And I think it's such a crapshoot as to who's.
Yeah.
See if you guys can guess either of our top 1, top 2. You've got a sense of our lists now. Please, guys, with 81 people, vote in the chat right now. Because I can't do a poll. So we'd have to literally look at who our top 10s are. And, So, guess either of our top 10, top 2 in the top 10. And if you're right, you get a cookie. From the Great Koala. They will deliver it on the fluffy pillows of destiny.
I love fluffy pillows and cookies. Of a stripper named Destiny. Yes, actually, that all works together very nicely. 90 likes,
and do
guys.
You like to eat her cookie?
10 more likes get to $100 or $100. Oh my god! 10 more likes get to 100 likes.
It's a fudge cookie.
So hit that like button if you haven't
it's
already.
Melt in the middle. Melt in the mouth.
Well, I mean, it could be, but you'd hope that they. Wow, this is went off the rails real quick. So anyway, yes, not a band account, $2. Ensign Sonia Gomez, watch that Coca. I mean, Coca. I guess now she is kind of a side character. Before she was just
a one-off.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, though. This would be a good... I mean, we're almost at the point this is a worthwhile doing again. We're kind of 45, 50 bucks away from this being a success. Because we have low metrics, but we still have to reach them. But it might be, top 10 cute characters. Characters make us smile, and Gomez is certainly very likable in that.
Yeah. Not a band account, $2. The Delaney sisters. Don't date the wrong twin. Dun dun dun.
Do they ever even get dialogue, those two? I know we see them once, but
I think they get dialogue, yeah. Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Hashtag Sam. His guess is Seska.
Oh, okay. Because literally, I'm thinking every time I've been triggered now. It's like, is that a hashtag Sam drink? No. I'm like, what do I have to drink here? Goddamn.
I've got Peach Crown Royal if anybody wants me to take a shot for $20. Just saying. Dementia, $5. One of you has definitely done Mud. So I think Mud's on one of our lists.
So the Delaney sisters are in one real scene and one deleted scene in a Starfleet uniform. That was it.
And they're mentioned quite a few times.
Yes. Although maybe... Okay, hold on. They were actually in... It would have been... I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't... it's like Lower Decks. They should have had more... you've only got 130 people in the crew. You can keep the same 130 extras. There isn't that many people. It'd be really nice if... I don't think we get to know almost anybody at the secondary, because that wasn't really the point of it.
Jonathan C. says Sam is going to choose O'Brien. O'Brien's the main character, though, so... Squadron Core says Stuart, Harry Mudd, and Samuel Shax. Who's Shax?
Lower Decks.
Oh, not a secondary character, though.
No, he's a primary.
Or he is a secondary character. Well, he's a primary, I guess.
Yeah, he's a primary cast.
Mark Lawrence, $2. Hologram Leonardo da Vinci.
I need to rewatch that one.
Taylor T, $5. Shran.
Because I haven't had any combs yet.
You haven't? No.
I'm combsless. I need to comb in this top 10. Oh, guys, we're only 35 away and 6 likes. Should I let the first cat out of the first bag?
Yes, you should, because...
Yes, we are. My silver medal, prestigious medal, goes to Reginald Barclay.
Nice.
No, he absolutely stands out. A lot of that is because he represents a very specific sort of aspirational journey and everything around that. Yes, he's a character in a box in his first episode. You get it, you understand it, whatever. And they because of the caliber of guest star they got, they wrote more of him. But he goes from being he's very talented, and so he got into Starfleet through that training. We know how hard that process is. He beat hundreds of other people to get in his one place. He got through the academy okay. He got to a lieutenant junior grade there. He managed to get onto the Enterprise. So his talent is high end, on the high end of the spectrum. But he also falls down on other parts, and yet he managed to overcome all those social problems to get to a position of real strength and whatever. And then throughout the series, we do see him get into Voyager, where they obviously cut down on his, he's got a lot more comfortable in Voyager. But he's, again, so talented. He has such a good... I mean, he's really good in Voyager. He's very different, but very good. And you really like him genuinely from his first appearance and all throughout his ride. And it becomes such a meaningful... Even like maybe 3 or 4 Voyager appearances, and half of them are like not even him. They're like hollow him and whatever, like evil him and hollow him are his first 2. They're like, we love the actor, let's bring him in as not really him. And that's a really memorable one where he's evil him, holodeck him, and then the other one where he's playing the Ferengi hologram. Like, it's really memorable. But it's just that aspirational journey of, for those people who aren't as socially able, and he represents something very strong, and he's definitely... It helps if he wasn't Dwight, if he was just some random actor that we don't know. Okay, sure, yes. But he rises above everything to deliver something truly special. And the fact he even got one of the movies. Hella good thing. So, Number 2, no reservations.
Good choice.
Yeah.
I already talked about him quite a bit.
I know.
Area 51, $5. I have no idea what your number one will be, so I'll just give. I think you appreciate that, Area 51.
A winning mentality.
You're trying for that last super chat slot, I can tell.
Almost there.
Not a band account, $2. Samuel Kirk, Captain Kirk's brother.
That'd be a hell of a one-off. Goodness.
Yeah, Barkley's great. And he's just so likable, as you said. Even though he comes across as the first one as Geordi is annoyed by him, and everybody kind of makes fun of him, makes fun of his name. It just, I don't know. He overcomes it all. And I really like him in the nth degree. I love the confident Barkley. I wish there would have been a lot more of that. But
in Voyager, he's pretty confident. Like, he's not as, obviously, but he's not, he's a nicely evolved character. And then by his, future self in Endgame, he's fully confident. He's okay, not to that absurd extreme, but, Yeah.
Preston M throws in $20, which is amazing. Thank you so much.
Boom.
$10 off an awesome goal right now, so that's cool. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Just got off work, just tuned in, but Barkley would be one of my favorites.
He was my number 2.
He's on both of our lists, so he was my number 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our lists have kind of jived just one number off with a few of them, so.
But also very different.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I'm up for talking about my silver place, my second place.
Now, would you say this person stayed away? Like, was it close to number 1 or not so much? So I'd say mine.
As I said, when you mentioned the idea for this one, a person came right to mind. That is my number 1.
Okay.
This one.
Number 2.
Number 2 is Shran.
Oh,
yeah, another Jeffrey Combs. That's 3 Jeffrey Combs on my top 10 list.
All 3 of his big characters.
Yeah. But Shran was just awesome. The whole Colleen Archer pink skin and that roughness to him, and then he becomes a friend. So well played, so well done, and I mean, it's just awesome. I don't know what else to say. He's an imposing character, and I love. We learn things like when you get an antenna cut off, it'll grow back. It's fine. You're a little bit dizzy for a while, so. But honestly, yeah, Shran's got to be on the list. He was a side character, but again, as with most of mine, he became more of a recurring and more of a impactful, important character. So, yeah.
And with him, he was only 9 episodes of Enterprise.
Yep.
Less than 10%. And most of them are in season 4. Because obviously that was a big arc with, like 3 of them in a row were in season 4. So, yeah, he stands out way more than, I'm not saying he has any right to, but he owns the role, he owns the zone, he owns the character, but it does help if he was not an Andorian. There is a certain bias with he's our big representation of the Andorian culture. He's something unique within unique. So he has everything going from, and yet he manages to raise above, and kick bottom. Okay, number 2. Yeah, that's definitely a side. Yeah, not recurring. Like there's on that lovely line of he's a nice side.
Yeah. Not a band account, $2. Lieutenant Emrys, who saved the Enterprise from the Moab. There you go. I mean,
that's a choice.
Yeah, that is a choice. She's the main character though in the animated series, so kind of. No, she'd be a secondary, I think. But yeah.
And Dan says he did call us pink skins. We also have pink and black. Well, yeah, but he didn't met any black people, so we hadn't met any of the white Andorians. So.
Well, he saw Mayweather at the helm all the time, so.
But not his first appearance, and then it became his nickname for,
Yeah.
So it was just 'cause he didn't know at that point.
It's a pet nickname for Archer.
Yeah. And if he sees 10 crew and 1 guy's black, at that point from his perspective there's 1 black, you're mostly pink, so I can't blame him. Yeah. It's like we associate them all being white haired, but what if some guys dye their hair? They're still a white haired species, just 1 guy dyed his hair, etc., etc. So it's all good. It's all good. All right then, the number 1 slot. Interesting. Can we get?
We got 100 likes.
Oh.
And $8 more would be good.
Does anyone want to guess?
Super chat slot.
Does anyone want to guess our number 1? I want to see 1 or 2 guesses. Anyone want to guess? Because I would have said Garak. I would have said Garak is your number 1. But since you've picked a lot of recurring characters as well, It could be Gul Dukat. I know you love Gul Dukat.
No, he's a main character.
Well, he's not a main character. He's a recurring.
He's the main villain, so he's this main character in my mind. So
well, okay.
My number one. I'll just go to where I was Grudge. I'm sorry. It needed to be Grudge.
I bet Mark Lamos in under 40 episodes. Maybe 50, but I would be surprised. No, he's in 33. He's in less than Garrick.
That's shocking.
And he's only in 5 more than Lita. Yeah, he's a recurring. Wow. But he does help. He's in 4 of... Well, I mean, he's in 4 of TNG. And one of his appearances is as Burt Ryan, the dickhead racist. But that's the thing, though. DS9, it is a character-driven show. It's not so much story-driven. It's long-form driven, but it's not so much individual stories. But they had, 30 episodes of character growth. So obviously they have a lot of character growth. And that's a lot of time, even if you're in a few bits and bobs. Whereas then other shows you tend to have 2, 3 maybe. I mean, even like Swan of Troy, probably less than 15 episodes, I would assume. I would assume she has less than 15. As in for Troy. Well, she has 97 as TNG. Yeah, thanks. Computer voice. Yeah, that's not what I meant.
Tyler T says Wayun or Lorca. Lorca was a main character, though.
Lorca was a main character, yeah. Oh, only 6 in TNG. So, yeah, super sad. Huh.
Russ Michael Iron Gut says Guinan since the picture flashed. Tuvix.
Yes,
Kyle from TOS, Lieutenant Kyle.
Tuvix is interesting.
Wayun, Martok. Martok's more of a secondary, I would say. Porthos the dog.
I mean, that's
51
certainly
puts in $2 again for that last super chat slot with Martok. Anyway, let's stop crunching the numbers and let's get into this because I want to get done.
Fair enough.
Not a band account has last super chat slot with $2. Captain Nog of the USS Chimera.
Okay. Just did some math there again. Okay. My number one is... You ready? Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Martok.
Perfect.
He's only in 23 episodes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
And yet, so he's in under half, and he only appears in season 5. So, well, 4, but But yeah, only in 24 episodes, including that one. But the fact that he stands out so strong is, once again, he is so distinct with the character. That's all of my side characters have been like. He feels like a higher-end character, even though percentage-wise, screen time-wise, he isn't. But he's such a presence, just like with you with Gowron. Because Gowron's in many as well. Martok gets a couple more, but, it does help he gets a couple of, like 2 or 3 was actually, they're almost the primary, which is awesome. But he's such on that line. And Garrick is a ride. But I almost feels... I think Martok is more satisfying as a character, because we love the Klingons, just like Barclay is the poster child of the Starfleet done good. Martok is a poster child for Klingons done right. He's full Klingon, so there's nothing else. He was raised in Klingons. He was raised poor, and then rose through skill and honor.
Mm-hmm.
And he, is pure skill, pure generosity at heart. He has all of the depth. The acting's amazing. The lines are amazing. He brings the nuance. Again, he was invented for 1, and then brought back, and then killed, and then brought back because they loved him so much. When you bring them back from literal death, you know that they like them. He died, and a retcon as a changeling, etc. So, yeah, and obviously he's right on that line, but he's not a Rom or a Quark, where they're Quark's main, Rom's secondary. This guy's side, but he's such a strong side. That's why he's my top side. Yeah, right on that line.
I put him more in the secondary role, just like Garrick, because eventually, I don't know. That's just when I come to my mind, they don't come to mind as side characters. So, but yes, a fantastic choice. Martok is amazing. J.G. Hertzler's awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just 24 episodes of 176 can't be called recurring because, he isn't. But
I know, but in my mind, he is.
Yeah.
Because when I think about it, it seems like he's in a lot fucking more than that.
Yeah, which is why he's my number one. So now I'm excited for your number one, because if my number one is in so many and feels so big, that's why I thought yours would be Garrett, because it just fits the Garrett role so strong.
Geraldine Karstensen puts in $20. Thank you so much. That is amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, finally got in on a live chat. No idea what you're talking about, but hey. Yeah, anyway. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Awesome.
We love to see an orange super chat, and that does make so much difference. I mean, I assume it's quite a lot for you as well. Well, but that is so generous. Thanks so much. You brought us over the minimum to our now you can relax them out. So thank you. And hopefully you draw some more lives at the same time every time we do them. So if you're free around this time, you should be able to find us live. So do come and say hi, and we respond to super chats and non-super chats, etc. So say hi, we'll say hey back, and let us know what you think. It's top 10 side characters, and my number one is Martok. So Stuart's number one.
Thank you for the support and for joining us.
Okay, so Stuart says number one was an obvious choice, instant. So this has been hyped up, Stuart.
This is the one that popped into my head right away. And
Okay.
It stayed as my number one because I fucking love this character.
Okay.
Sloan. DS9. Section 31 Sloan. I absolutely love this actor. He plays Death, by the way, in the Bill and Ted movie.
Yeah.
But Sloan was great because it was the first introduction to Section 31. And you were never sure if the guy was actually part of an organization or if Section 31 was just in his head or if he thought Section 31 existed, because you never really saw any evidence of anything. So I really think Sloan's great, and the episode where he dies and they actually go into his mind was one of my favorite episodes. Well, he does.
He dies.
Yes.
He's
Anyway,
Sloan, man. Yeah,
that's true. But that episode really going to his mind as it's dying is fantastic. Just that premise to me really stood out. So he's only in like a few episodes, but I really love the character. Whenever he shows up, there's that ominous oh shit, this guy again. So, and because of him, Section 31 became a thing in absolutely everything, including Enterprise and Discovery, and but he was the introduction to Section 31, and he was an amazing character.
So, by the way, he's in 3 episodes.
Yes, I know.
Just want to point that out.
I'm aware. I'm aware. When you mention favorite side characters, Sloan automatically comes to mind. I love Sloan.
No, I just love you saying that, he's in not many episodes. Yeah, 3. Yeah. And you can name all 3, because they're all very distinct.
Yeah.
But that's the appropriate amount of he's packed.
Yeah. Shane Ackery, $2. Captain Admiral Ross is one of my favorite side characters. Admiral Forrest was on my list as well. Kind of got bumped. Well,
because they're great epitomes of what they're standing for, but they don't necessarily have the secret sauce in many appearances. They just play their role super well. It's like Saval was on my list until he wasn't. 'Cause I'm like, he
was on my list too.
I was like, but he's. Yeah, but Saric beats him out quite happily, and then I want to get a gut reaction from all that stuff.
But yeah, Sloan, I love the idea of Section 31 when we had never heard of it before, but now it's inundated and saturated everything Star Trek, and I hate it. But back then, I remember just thinking, every time you see this guy, he's sitting in a room by himself. I have no idea how he got in there. And he talks about this organization that is so secret that nobody knows about it, even though everyone knows about Section 31 and shows off their shiny black badges, that you're wondering if the guy's actually insane, if he's made this all up, if he thinks he's part of an organization, if the organization even, what the structure is for it. You just don't know. So anyway.
Although it's funny, I do remember, and this is, 9, because I'm as old as DS9, so I couldn't have watched the episode live. I would have been 6 or 5.
Yeah.
So I do remember the first time I watched the episode. I really appreciate that, because I never thought he was lying. I always knew he was legit. I never had that vibe, because if you think about it, he beamed through DS9's shields from a cloaked ship, undetected. That's technology that is so far beyond the standard, and then disappeared with there's no trace, and all like there's no trace of anything. So just to achieve that, even if you've been from a docked vessel, etc., it's still completely undetected. Like that is at least super secret, if not super. And I think they've cloaking devices. I assume they have. It's not hard tech to get. I assume they have got cloaking devices, and if you can fire while cloaked, you can beam while cloaked, at least in very limited fashion. That's nothing beyond Section 31's abilities. That's the whole point. They were unknown. They could do everything. It's like I've said many a time. I don't know in what context, but something like. No, I think there was in Section 31. We've discussed this and said, you might not like them, but do you remember the 5th Borg invasion on Earth in 2397? Well, no, because they stopped it.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Klingon invasion? No, they've stopped more invasions than we ever knew happened. So of course we need.
Does Friday come after Thursday? Yeah, they went back in time and fixed that shit for you. You didn't even realize it.
Yeah, God. Yeah, exactly. So all of the things that people aren't okay to deal with, they stopped, and it's the stuff that we don't see, that we do see, that's the stuff they didn't or couldn't or whatever.
Yeah.
So we need them. Unfortunately, they identify me sort of people, but without them, we'd be dead 50,000 times over. And do you want the civilians to live a nice life? Well, sometimes, it's like, no. I mean, hey, he fits the bill. He ain't recurring. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I need to watch the In His Mind episode again, because I remember fragments of that, pun intended.
Great. It's such a cool premise.
But I remember them, like, cause I think, isn't it at a certain point he's actually lying to them in his own brain, because even though he's dying, he can't let them know truths?
He lets them think that he lets them think that they woke up, but they're still in his mind.
No, on their previous bits where like they think they see something, they make something else up that's wrong, because if he gives them too much information, they can't know what's true, even though some of it's like really interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of misleading stuff in that episode. Yes.
It's like, I'm dying, but I still can't let you know stuff, despite being
exactly. Dying. He's right to the very end. Even when he's dying, he's still trying to put them off. So let's see what we got here. Philip Rob 80 puts in $2. Tomalak is one of my favorites.
Tomalak is good.
Yeah.
He would probably be on TNG list, but
yeah,
he's a view screen guy, Yeah.
Not a band account, $5. If Sloan is Section 31, then where is his big black badge and giant black stealth ship?
Easy. On the soles of his shoes. Oh, close. No, they're cloaked. or maybe, you know what it is? Every single day that comet goes past DS9, it's actually a Section 31 ship. Because they look like asteroids in the one.
Yeah. Dementia, $5. Section 31 always felt like something that was a natural part of Starfleet, but the higher-ups were, like all Starfleet admirals, incompetent. I wouldn't say incompetent, just need to know basis. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many admirals. I mean, there are thousands of people in authority in Starfleet to make it work between all different quadrants and sectors. I mean, it's such a broad thing.
It's just hard to believe that Section 31 was first mentioned with this guy in DS9. Because then they've retroactively gone back and had it in Enterprise with Malcolm, and then they mentioned it in Discovery now. So, but the fact that it was never heard of in TOS, TNG, DS9, like they're doing their job, but now everybody just kind of knows Section 31's a thing. It's kind of annoying.
Well, I like it Enterprise personally because it's played for a much more low key thing. It's just like, well, yeah, it's just the CIA of Earth. Like it's so low key, it only becomes really powerful later. It's just the CIA. Yeah. There's nothing really special about it.
But if you ask somebody that is younger and knows all of Trek and says, "What was your first introduction to Section 31?" They'll never say DS9.
No,
they'll never say Sloan.
Yeah,
they'll never think of it.
It'll be the shooty black ship in, Into Darkness. No, yeah, absolutely. And I can't. It's nice they weren't in obviously it didn't exist yet, but to have Reed be a Section 31 agent at any point changes his character fundamentally. Same with Bashir. The fact he does do a mission, etc. Whereas in TNG, the fact that none of them are Section 31, even close, is like, yes, their purity is still there, Yeah. And Voyager wouldn't need it as well. So I kind of appreciate that. But yeah.
30-something man-child puts in £2 and says, "Great video, guys. Look forward to the next top 10. Thank you so much."
Us too.
Tomorrow is Thursday, and tomorrow's going to be nothing. Tomorrow's going to have no live because it's Thursday. And I'll have one later in the night. I'll have my first reaction to the next episode of Discovery at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. And then Friday we'll be doing our regular review time.
We got one normal
the following week. Yep, the following week we'll be doing it on Thursday because Samuel had to come along and cock everything up. So.
Yes. Well, no, hold on. No, next week is normal. This week after that's different.
Oh, okay. So 2 weeks in a row are normal.
Yes.
Good job.
Yeah, because I'm not here this weekend, but I am going on Saturday, so it's fine. Yeah.
So thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
Right now, 30-something man-child has the last super chat slot, which is awesome. It's been a really fun one, actually. I'm looking forward to doing each series side characters.
Totally changes
quite interesting
because you've got to look. You've really got to look and pinpoint. Sweetness. Until then, next time we see us, we'll have seen Discovery. Next time I'll talk about Discovery. Literally within about a minute of seeing you tomorrow, we'll talk about Discovery and reviewing it. So there you go.
Yeah.
We'll get there when we get there, Stuart. So until then, he is Captain Foley, the true main character.
It's true. Am I Section 31? No one will ever know. And he is Captain Cockings because he got a promotion yesterday.
Double promoted.
Yeah. There you go.
Unless this is a Sloan dream.
You're in my brain.
And they're all in your brain. They're all actually on their couch, asleep, and you've gone to their brain. And
Area 51 tried for the last super chat slot with $1, but then got sniped out by Squadrocars for $2. It was a fun chat. Loved just talking Trek stuff.
Yes,
that's why we do them.
The whole broad universe.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Thank you so much.